All right, let's try some exercises from Chapter 8, Section H2. Again, these are the practice exercises. So here we'll have 3 premises. I'm betting you we're going to see some replacement rules used in this set. If R, then Q or P. 2, if not P, then not Q. Section, or premise 3 here is if not Q, then R. Not Q, then R. And then I'm told I'm supposed to prove P. And again, we're going to be working with indirect proof here, so I'll be assuming that P is false. So let me just think real quickly about what not P here, assuming P is false, what not P is going to get me. Not P is going to get me to not Q, modus ponens. Not Q will get me to R, modus ponens. At this point, I'll have a not P as my assumption, and I'll have a not Q. If I have not P and not Q, then I should be able to use De Morgan's to say not Q or P, and then that'll get me, by modus tollens, a not R. Since I'll have an R and a not R, that's the contradiction I'm looking for. So that may have been a little quick, but just if you just watch here, I'll walk you through those steps. So for premise number 4 here, or line number 4, I'm going to say not P. And again, what's going to happen here is when I finally get to my contradiction, I'll learn not P and just have to clean that up using double negation. But I'm going to assume not P right now, and that's just going to be my assumption for indirect proof. Right? Once I have not P again, then I can use modus ponens to get not Q, and that's from lines 2 and 4. Modus ponens. Right, 2 and 4 modus ponens. Then line 6, when I have not Q, that's going to give me R. And that's from lines 3 and 5. Modus ponens. 3 and 5 modus ponens. Now I just need to get to not R, and again, what I'm thinking here is I have not P and I have not Q. To get to not R, I'm going to use modus tollens. To use modus tollens, I need to have not Q or P. Not Q or P. But if I know that P is false and I know that Q is false, I know not Q or P by De Morgan's. So to get that though, first I have to combine these two, use a conjunction. So line 7 should be, I'm going to write this, again, I'm going to write it in the order I want it here because I want the Q to come first. So I'm going to say not Q and not P. Right, that's from lines 4 and 5 by conjunction. 4 and 5 conjunction. Now I can use De Morgan's on that and say not Q or P. Right. Hopefully by this point you're fairly comfortable with De Morgan's. You'll see it quite a bit in these kind of proofs. It's a nice little I wouldn't say trick. It's a rule that works. But what it does is it sort of pulls out that negation there and changes. If you see this is a dot, it'll become an or inside here, and vice versa. So it'll turn this conjunction into a negation of the disjunction, which is what I'm looking for. So that's going to be by 7 De Morgan's, right? But that will give me at line 9. This is a fairly lengthy proof, but most of the steps are not too bad if you see the overall path. Now I can have my not R. Right, and that's from line 1 there and line 8. 1, 8 modus tollens. And now I can have finally line 10, my contradiction, R and not R. And that's just going to be line 6 and line 9 conjoined using conjunction. And that is the indirect proof part. Right? Because I've got my contradiction, that again allows me to get to line 11, which is not P. And then as I said, I just need to clean that up. Oh, sorry, I need to write down the reason for that. That's lines 4 through 10. Right, indirect proof. as I have not done P, I finally have my actual conclusion I'm looking for, which is P. And that's just going to be from line 11, right, double negation. Pull back a little bit here so you can see the whole lengthy proof, all 12 lines. I've done much longer, so it's not the lengthiest I've seen, but it's a fairly complex proof. It involves some tricks like indirect proof, of course, and also a replacement rule. But most of the steps are things you're fairly familiar with by this point, like modus ponens and disjunctive syllogism. We didn't actually do one of those here, but modus tollens, conjunction, that sort of thing. All right, there you go.